You clicked a video about California's cheapest homes? So let's confirm the rumor. Yes, the cheap here still means around the price of a luxury car fleet. Think $300,000 to $400,000. But here's the catch. You're buying into access. Not oceanfront, but highways to majors, parks like Yosemite, and job hubs that actually hire. Today, we're counting down 10 spots where your dollar stretches farther inland. I'll give each one an access score. Distance to big metros, outdoor escapes, and real industries. So you know what you're trading for that lower sticker. Ready to escape the coast tax without quitting California? Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1, Bakersfield. Everyone says you can't afford California. Bakersfield shrugs and says, drive inland. You swap ocean breeze for a mortgage that doesn't scream, with median prices hanging in the high 300,000s and a cost of living near state low. But here's the catch. Heat that slaps triple digits, oil fields near neighborhoods, and a commute culture. Utilities run hotter too. Is cheaper still livable? Let's break it down. Energy, agriculture, logistics keep paychecks coming. Entry-level buys show up in Oleander Sunset and Lakeview. Access score, about 2 hours to LA on a good day. Regional hospitals, CSU Bakersfield, Kern River weekends. Property tax around 0.8 to 1% matters. Handle heat, gain square footage. So what if you want affordability plus a gateway to national parks? Number 2, Fresno. You want California nature without California prices. Fresno whispers, Yosemite's that way. Median home price sits in the mid-$300,000, which is basically a down payment on the coast. Let that sink in. But here's what nobody tells you. Utilities run hot. Summers are intense. Salaries swing by sector. Do the savings survive August? Sometimes, if you budget like a pro. Here's the thing. You get 80 parks, Fresno Chaffee Zoo, and the Big Fresno Fair. Strong ag economy with healthcare and education as anchors, plus remote tech-adjacent workers. Access score, about 1.5 hours to the Yosemite Gateway, 3 to SF or LA, Amtrak San Joaquin's corridor. Property tax around 0.8 to 1%. Base camp secured. But what if you need bay adjacency without bay pricing? Number 3, Stockton. Stockton's pitch is simple. Keep a NorCal life without a NorCal mortgage. Median home prices around the low to mid $400,000 undercut Contra Costa and Alameda by a mile. Let that sink in. But here's the catch. Commuter fatigue is real, and bay spillover keeps pressure on inventory. The reputation lingers, even as some districts post improving crime trends. Can you balance access with sanity? Here's the thing. You get San Joaquin Delta weekends, the port of Stockton's logistics jobs, and growing healthcare and education. Access score? ACE train to Fremont and San Jose, plus I-5 and 99. If you want a garage and a backyard instead of a microloft, this compromise wins. Maybe you want slower, college town vibes next. Number 4, Chico. Chico runs on campus buzz, leafy streets, and mortgages that don't wreck your 30s. Median home price lands in the affordable inland band, and the cost of living sits far below the state average. Let that sink in. But here's the catch. No big industry engine. Most paychecks come from education, healthcare, and small business. Does that pencil out for families and remote workers? Often, yes, if you keep the budget tight. Bidwell Park is the flex. Miles of trails, bike culture, and a community that actually shows up. Access score, about 1.5 hours to Sacramento, regional healthcare hub, plus wildfire resilience measures after the Camp Fire influence insurance. Lifestyle first, predictable costs. Prefer cool coastal air without a Bay Area mortgage? Number 5, Eureka. You wanted ocean. You didn't want Bay Area pricing. Eureka says, welcome to Redwood Country. Median home values hover in the high $300,000 to low $400,000, which for California coast is basically a cheat code. Let that sink in. But here's the catch. It's remote. About 5 hours to San Francisco with a regional airport that runs limited routes. Housing is cheaper, utilities trend lower than national averages, but some goods cost more. That isolation tax shows up at the checkout line. Here's the thing. You get Humboldt Bay, redwoods, a legit art scene, plus fishing, tourism, healthcare, and lumber jobs. Unemployment sits in the low to mid-single digits historically. Want suburbs with Fresno access but cleaner, newer feel? Number 6, Clovis. Clovis markets itself as Fresno with better schools and master-planned calm. Median home price? Slightly higher than Fresno, still well below the California average. Let that sink in. But here's the catch. You'll pay that small premium and still battle valley heat. Do you get value back? If schools and clean subdivisions matter to you, yes. You get well-rated districts, family-focused neighborhoods, and suburban amenities that feel deliberately organized. Access score: 15 to 20 minutes to Fresno jobs, easy day trips to Yosemite, Sequoia, and nearby lakes. Cost of living sits far below the coast, and property tax lives in that familiar range. If schools and curb appeal lead your list, Clovis checks boxes. Next up, dollars stretch harder. Number 7, Porterville. If affordability is your North Star, Porterville is the telescope. Median prices land below regional peers, so your down payment stops looking like a prank. Let that sink in. But here's the catch. Smaller market, fewer amenities, nights are quiet. Jobs lean agricultural, plus hospital and processing plants. Will you trade nightlife for yard space? Many do. You get quick hits to Sequoia National Forest trailheads and lakes. Access score: roughly an hour to Bakersfield or Fresno for job spillover. Property taxes are notably low by California standards, which lowers the monthly nut when paired with moderate insurance and a modest mortgage. Buy the house first, build the lifestyle second. Want extreme affordability near the desert edges? Number 8, Calipatria. Calipatria pops up on cheapest in California lists, and your eyebrows go up. It's real, it's happening. Prices can slide into the low tier for the state, the kind of number that looks like a used Tesla with hail damage. Let that sink in. But here's the catch. Remote desert living, brutal summers, and thin amenities. Savings versus isolation. Who wins? Jobs center on agriculture and the corrections facility. The Salton Sea sits nearby with environmental wrinkles that aren't wallpaper. Access score? Far from major metros, high summer temps, lower housing costs, but spikes on utilities and fewer services. If price is the only variable, Calipatria delivers. Prefer a balanced small city with stronger regional ties? Number 9, Hanford. Hanford lives in that sweet spot. Historic downtown grid, easy errands, and prices that don't torch your savings. Median sits in the affordable lane, so your mortgage feels like a car payment, not a ransom. Let that sink in. But can the job market carry you long-term, or does it coast? The anchors help. Adventist Health pulls healthcare talent, and Naval Air Station Lemoore nearby keeps paychecks steady. Rentals move because medical and military folks rotate in and out. Access score is solid. About 40 minutes to Fresno, an Amtrak stop for sanity, cost of living under the state average, and predictable property taxes. Calm base, practical math. Quiet value play with commuter options. One more valley pick rounds it out. Number 10, Tulare. Tulare runs on dairy, distribution, and mortgages that don't scream. Homes sit in the affordable band, with newer subdivisions offering actual starter houses instead of glorified shoeboxes. Let that sink in. But here's the catch. Nights are slow, summers hit hard, and some sectors cap wages. Does the budget still win? If you're playing the long game, yes. Here's the thing. You're next to the World Ag Expo action in the Tulare Visalia zone, which keeps trucks, jobs, and money moving. Access score. Fast pull onto Highway 99, about 45 to 60 minutes to Fresno, cost of living edge over the coast, and manageable property taxes. Equity building, low monthly payments, practical base for families and small businesses. Now zooming out matters.